oh my goodness, look at me spending a day in Conway.
You can fit 66 pumpkins in a sedan.
Does anything predate a skeleton? It's okay.
We were really proud of Christmas in Conway.
Awesome parade, people.
To make something haunted, all you have to do is store every Halloween item imaginable.
Right. You know, we got to plan this now.
Oh yeah, and if you can give them a spot, they will come and find it.
Have you been to Conway, South Carolina lately? Because if you haven't, you might not believe what you're seeing. Picture this, driving through downtown, the streets are full, the storefronts are buzzing, and in October, the trees are literally covered in hundreds of bright orange pumpkins. So how does a historic river town take on a whole new identity and turn itself into a destination people go out of their way to visit? Today on Coasting, we're going behind the scenes with a person helping lead that transformation and finding out how Conway has secured its own rightful place on the map. I'm your podcast host and local Myrtle Beach area realtor, Celia Klein. It's time. We're coasting. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Can you see back behind me here? It is a gorgeous day, and you are looking at that sparkling Atlantic Ocean. And you know what? We just want to talk all things about this Grand Strand, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area and helping you find your people, place, and pace. But guess what? Today's specific focus, Conway, South Carolina.
Yeah. Go Chants.
What? It's Chants up. Come on.
Chants up.
All right. That's why we're here. We got to teach you. All right. Okay. It's what the cool kids say, isn't it?
It is what the cool kids say.
All right. Okay.
But I have a confession.
Oh my gosh, Aunt B, what's your confession? I am afraid. Did you like?
I don't know what a Chanticleer.
Oh, okay. Phew. All right. That's easy. I can fix that one for you. I thought you were going to tell me you went to a party on campus or something.
That might have happened.
That
too.
I don't what? I mean, okay. All right. That we can fix. Here's the deal. All right. So I'm going to call it Chanticleer. Okay. And it actually comes from Chaucer's Canterbury Tales. Did you do your English lit class, Aunt B?
Of course. I was a major in English.
Oh, you did? Okay. Well,
time.
then now you say Chanticleer. Okay.
Chanticleer.
All right. It is the proud and fierce rooster dominating the barnyard. All right. So do that symbol again. Go ahead. All right. So it's not like this. We're not doing yoga, people. Okay. It's like this. All right. So that is the head of the rooster. Okay. And that is its feathered comb. Get it?
Okay.
Chants up. Okay.
Chants up.
All right. Now combine that college town vibe with preserving character vibe and a slice of I so did not see that coming. And you have the City of Conway, okay? So for those of you who watch my YouTube real estate channel, and thank you for doing that, you know that I did a video on the City of Conway about, probably 3-4 years ago. And I did mention that, the City of Conway, it used to get a really bad rap. I mean, it was definitely the town people kind of picked on. And at the time, it was just all of a sudden, about 3-4 years ago, we went, hold up, what? And it really just seemed to be, everything just seemed to wake up in that area. And so since then, Conway's got everyone's attention. All right. So, I always refer to it as cutie little Conway. I don't know why I do that. It is far from little. All right. But I love Conway. So Aunt B and I wanted to make sure you knew about two places in particular that we really like, kind of secret gems, but probably not anymore. So Aunt B, what's your secret gem you want to share with everybody?
So mine is the Theater of the Republic on Main Street.
Oh, that is a good one.
And it's a live theater, in-person acting, where you can go see a play. They have even a great young people's acting group. And they recently put on Cats.
Okay. All right.
And I recently went to see Pretty Women there.
Really?
Pretty Woman.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it was really great. It was a lot of fun. We had a good time. They do several plays a year. And the tickets are nowhere close to Broadway prices. They're very, very reasonable. And there's so many great restaurants right in the area.
Just going to say, make a night out of it.
You can make a night out of it, grab a bite to eat, or go out afterwards. It is a hidden gem. That's my contribution.
And I have to admit, I have not been. So we need to go. Add it to the list.
Okay.
Exactly. We'll take the coasting convertible. We'll go.
they're coming out with Dear Evan Hansen, I think is the next
Yes,
one
I just
coming
saw
out.
that
Yeah.
being
So-
promoted on social media. So, well, that's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to slide in a hidden gem, and then I'll talk about the real one. And so I've got to give a shout out to the Conway Farmers Market. Really good one. And if you guys recall in our previous episode when Chef Bonaparte was here, he was telling me that obviously they have a farmer's market, but he said the one that is neck and neck, just as good, he really likes it. Conway has their farmer's market.
And the knife guy is there.
The knife guy, Aunt B, again, I am worried about you.
So there's nowhere good to go get your knives sharpened anymore.
Okay.
And there's a guy at the farmer's market, and he will sharpen your good kitchen
Oh,
knives.
I like that. All right.
So you got to go visit the
again,
farmer's
secret gem. Here's my real gem, and that is going to be Conway Glass. Oh my gosh. It's located 708 12th Avenue. It's owned by husband and wife, Ed and Barb Streeter. Their grandson also works there too. So I usually end up going there before Christmas time. I love, they have the blown glass holiday or Christmas ornaments. Oh my gosh, they're just so special. I get them for my family. I love them. Guess what else? They offer classes. So I got to make my own blown glass holiday ornament.
Wow.
To see is just,
They do the little pop-up too, right?
they do. And it's not even little anymore. It's amazing. So yes, all these people are coming. I drop serious coin when I'm there. It's bad.
But they're worth it. You need a special ornament on your tree.
So you know what else they do? They make stained glass. So if you have ever been, and if you haven't, you better go to Rivertown Bistro, also in the city of Conway. And they have one of their pieces there. You can also go to Brook Green Gardens and see both blown glass and the stained glass. It's just, they're so talented. So I'm gonna tell you to go. And I love the Streeters. They're just very humble, lovely people. And so they're on social media, Conway Glass. You gotta check that out.
Check it out.
So you know what? I mean, to see all this energy and excitement surrounding this town, guess what? It's not luck. Somebody's working
behind
mighty
the
hard
scenes.
to make all this happen and to plan it. And guess what? Top City Administrator Adam Emrick is going to be here after the break, and he is going to let us know about this extensive, purposeful planning and how it gets Conway to stand out for all the right reasons. We'll be right back.
I'm excited.
Paul Krimmer of Houston, Texas, and ceramist Stephanie H. Shee of Brooklyn, New York, have joined forces to create a most playful and thought-provoking exhibition inspired by Myrtle Beach's reputation as the golf capital of the world and as former United States Air Force Base. The exhibition, titled Lateral Hazard, which refers to the type of golf water hazard that runs parallel to the direction of the hole, hints at oblique and distinct strategies both Krimmer and Shee employ in approaching golf as a subject matter. Where Krimmer considers the game of golf virtually through its landscape and architecture, Shee focused on the game's political association. Alongside one another, both artists' affinity for the popular influenced imaginary is highlighted reciprocally. The bright palette of Krimmer and the commercial iconography and a mass cultural critique for Shee. The exhibition begins May 30th, so plan your trips to the museum soon. For more information, include museum hours, visit myrtlebeachartmuseum.org.
Welcome back to Coasting. Hey, it is one thing to create a great event. It's something entirely different to create a vision that people connect with, one that brings energy to a downtown, supports local businesses, and gives a community a true sense of identity. And that's exactly what's been happening in Conway. Today, we're joined by Adam Emrick, City Administrator for the City of Conway, someone who's been instrumental in shaping the ideas, events, and long-term vision that are turning Conway into a destination. Adam, welcome to Coasting.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
I'm so glad you're here. I hope that you can tell I am all about some Conway.
All right.
Okay,
Good. Makes two of us.
Good. So I actually, before we get started, I usually ask my podcast guests, talk a little bit about your story. How did you get to be living in this wonderful area?
I'm from northwestern Pennsylvania, like so many of our fellow
Right.
residents here. And where I'm from, it was the birthplace of the oil industry in the United States. And so when I was growing up, it was also the exodus of the oil industry from our town. So it was not a great place to thrive as a career. So I graduated college from Penn State and moved to Atlanta. I went to law school at Georgia State. For a while. I had my own law firm in downtown Stone Mountain, Georgia, and found my way here as a planner at Horry County first.
Oh, okay.
While I was practicing law, I volunteered for our Merchants Association, our Downtown Development Authority, our Main Street program, and I kind of realized that that's what I like doing. And the planning role was basically the best pieces of all that. So ended up as a planner at Horry County and became planning director in the City of Conway in 2015 and became administrator in 2017.
So when you took the position in 2015, just give us an idea if you're just going to do, broad stroke assessment. What did you see that you either thought was an immediate thing and others that you went, it's going to take us some time, but here's what I'm thinking.
I think like so many other people, what lured me to Conway in the first place 20 years ago was I came over the Main Street Bridge and you see this sort of Rockwellian image coming over that bridge. I mean, you see the rooftops and the church spires and all those things. And that's what won me over to want to live in Conway. And after living there for 10 years before I became a city employee, you make friends with everybody. It's a community. You go to it's a growing place. But everywhere you go, you see your friends and your neighbors and people you work with. It still is a very small place. So when I became the planning director, what I really had been, you dream about things you'd like to see change in your city, and I got the ability to make some of those things happen, and that was, it's a really exciting thing to be able to do, and that's I don't know, I can't give any specific details right off the bat, but just being able to work for the place that you live in and be able to make lasting change is really an honor.
And from the standpoint, I like to teach our viewers and listeners as best you can for those who may not be familiar with the area. As I said before, I'm always calling it cutie little Conway, but Conway is quite large.
Yeah.
So from the standpoint of city limits, either what is it now and what does it have the potential to be? Because I think it can be even bigger.
Oh yeah, it could be.
Okay.
Yeah. So geographically, we're about 30 square miles right now, which is pretty big. I think if we're not bigger than both Myrtle Beach and North Myrtle Beach, we're pretty close to it. But we realistically have the ability to double that size. We can be, I think, about 64 square miles.
Wow.
And what that is governed by is the size of our utility service area.
Oh, okay.
So if we provide water or sewer to you, eventually you're going to be in the City of Conway. And before there was a Grand Strand Water and Sewer Authority, there was Conway Water. So we had water in some places that predate, really the rush of development. And that is how the boundary was sort of determined. Where were we before and where could we possibly grow that makes sense for the city?
So tell me about when you and maybe your colleagues felt like the shift that you wanted to have happen was happening. And did it have anything to do with our other guest that we see?
With Hal? No, actually, it predates Hal.
Okay.
In 20...
Does anything predate a skeleton? It's okay.
It predates Hal being the Hal we know. In 2016, we had an opportunity presented to the city, and that was the Burroughs Company, who owned the majority of property in our downtown. They were going through some economic issues, and they were divesting of all of their holdings. And they came to the city and they said, we would like to give you a lot of property that people already think is public. There were parking areas, there were landscape areas that were privately owned, but owned by the Burroughs Company. And they said, let's just give them to you. And in exchange for that, we want you to help facilitate some development on these 2 pads that we're holding, which eventually we bought. And that now we're working on getting developed. But with that property, we had the ability to do some things that we'd never been able to do before. So we brought in a consultant and we said, we want our downtown to be better connected to the riverfront. Help us see that. And they did that, but they also did a lot more. And they said, you've got a lot of really unique public spaces in your downtown. You've got alleyways that don't exist other places. You've got pocket parks that don't exist other places. And you may think you've done a good job with those, but you haven't. So look more critically at what you've got and do a better job. And that was the day that the change started. We really took a very critical look at our public infrastructure, and we redid things that we never thought we'd need to redo. And we also did one other thing, and that kind of took place the next year. we shifted the focus from trying to attract the tourists from Myrtle Beach as our primary motivator to doing the best we could for our residents. And we really took a residents first approach. So when you look at the downtown, every time we do any sort of improvement, it is how will the neighbors react to this? How will we react to it? And it's really not, we're not trying to reach outside of our city limits for that.
I love that's, I mean, to your point, a very different approach and is clearly succeeding. For what would you say has been the time or when, Conway homeowners or maybe tourists who had first thought, I'm going to hang out in Myrtle, but oh my goodness, look at me spending a day in Conway. When do you think that?
So that's more recent. I think that is more closely aligned to the recovery from COVID.
Okay.
It's like so much of the area we did not shut down like other cities in this country did, and I think that was fairly well, universal throughout the county. I think when people came back, though, they were looking for something different in addition to what they'd seen before. And so much push was away from cities and downtowns that small cities and downtowns were able to capture a lot more market at that point. And we were uniquely poised to be able to accommodate that growth. I don't want to jump outside of the question here, but in 2011, 2012, we had 70 vacant storefronts in downtown Conway.
Oh my goodness.
We have a 0% commercial vacancy rate right now, and we have a waiting list of people to get in. And a lot of that it wasn't an overnight thing. It was during that time when we had 70 vacancies, we were doing everything we could to just hold on. And at some point it went from holding on to now we're holding on, trying to keep up. And it's a great turn to have had.
So internally, how do you, we're talking about the importance of planning and strategic vision. So how do you plan internally for, oh my goodness, I see we're going to be doing more things. Now I have to grow my own team. So when you first started, what was, town administrative, and planning versus what it is now?
Well, let's back to planning. When I was planning director, I had 1.5 employees. Our planning department now has 15.
Wow.
But when I was the planning director, we had, maybe 100 new house permits come in a year, and that was a good year. We're now about 600 house permits a year. So I could not have done what's being done now with anything close to the staff I had. And moreover, when now I have a really good staff and they're like, Adam, why did you approve this? And I'm like, I don't know why I approved it. I didn't, they know more now than I ever knew then. So it's great to have a fantastic team that also was willing to call you out when you make mistakes. Yeah, that's great.
Now on my end, I would say one of the events that really seemed to just put a spotlight on Conway is the time frame of Halloween and the town becoming Halloween, South Carolina. Yes. Do you feel like that is an accurate assessment, or would you add to that?
I think Halloween is the moment when we said we're going to do something for the residents, and then the tourists found us.
Okay.
Which we knew would come, but we didn't know it would come because of that. We had always done Christmas big. We love Christmas in Conway. We were really proud of Christmas in Conway.
Awesome parade, people, if you haven't been.
The biggest parade, I think, in the state,
if
I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
We felt very strongly internally that we should be in Southern Living Magazine as a top 10 Christmas city. So much so that we went to some of the other cities to see what they were doing that we weren't.
Oh.
And what we realized is that everybody does Christmas. Every city in this country does Christmas in some way. So you're competing with not just one or two really good cities, but you're competing with everybody for that attention, no matter, and everything. Like Dahlonega, Georgia, for instance, it's a great little compact downtown. They can put up 1 million lights and make an impact. We can put up, 6 million lights and have a much harder time making the same impact that they do because we're a little more spread out. So during COVID, like many other people sitting at home, watching Tiger King and scrolling on everything on their phone, my wife actually saw a picture of a live oak tree with some Halloween pumpkins in it. The jack-o'-lanterns you buy at Walmart for like $1. They're not $1 anymore. They were then. And she said, we should do something like this in Conway. And I'm like, we should definitely do that in Conway. And I texted our hospitality and beautification director, Timmy Williams. I said, Timmy, could we do this on the Oaks on Main Street? And Timmy always says yes. So it was kind of a loaded question. So of course he said yes. And so that I actually have a picture on my phone. That night, my family and I went out and we went to Target. We got our masks on. We're at Target and we bought every pumpkin they had. And we sent people to every Walmart in the county and bought every pumpkin they had. And then everybody that traveled, we said, you've got to go to the Walmart and clean them out. You can fit 66 pumpkins in a sedan.
Oh, okay.
If you're counting. And we bought everybody out, and that was how we did the first year. So I think the first year we had, 350 pumpkins in the trees on Main Street.
Okay.
And there are some things that I try to sneak by our council, and that was one I did not tell them we were doing.
Oh.
I said, we got a surprise for you. I hope you like it. And the pumpkins showed up, but it cost us $350 that first year. They were $1 each. And it made such an impact, not just on the community, but we heard stories of people who normally go like to Charleston for a getaway during the month, and they were changing and bringing the people that they go to come to Conway to see the pumpkins.
Yes.
It was such a small thing, and it made such a difference. And, our residents were proud, and it gave us something to stand out a little bit. And of course, every year we raised the bar. And so somehow we went from 350 pumpkins to Halloween, South Carolina. But that was the year. It was 2020 was the first year we put the pumpkins in the trees.
So fast forward, tell, how big is this now? Do you have a total number of skeletons or, and where is it stored? Logistics, I got to, all that good stuff.
That is the number one question we get is where do you put everything? And the answer used to be we cram it into about 14 different shipping containers.
Okay.
But then every year you get it out and things were broken and so we're in the process of buying a piece of property from the school district, and they've let us store some things in there before we close on it. It is probably the coolest old school you'll ever go into because of what we've got in there. And you don't have to make something haunted. All you have to do is store every Halloween item imaginable in a building, and you get that haunted building. But it is the coolest place. And it is so much more organized and a better environment for our things that when we get them out this year, we're going to put them right back out. And we've got a lot of good surprises for us this year, too. It's going to be awesome.
Well, when I went last year, and I always take, clients or friends, with me. And from the standpoint of it used to be, you could just be like, oh, we'll just go. And, now it's, all right, we have got to go early. We have got to get a reservation at, what's the barbecue place right on the river?
Bonfire.
Yes, Bonfire. Yeah. Because then you can see the pirate ship going by, and then you're walking through. And I said, we got to plan this now.
Oh, yeah. Well, we had 3.5 hour waits at restaurants downtown. And we used to advertise Conway as, to the beach as, if you don't want to wait in line for a restaurant, come to Conway. You can get great food. It's cheaper and you don't have to wait. And now we had a longer wait in Conway than you would have at the beach in the summer. That's that's a foreign thing for us. And I think if there's two things that made our citizens mad, it was one, you couldn't get a table at your favorite restaurant. And the second one was you had a harder time finding a parking place. But both are great problems to have. Yeah.
And, again, the importance I think I wanted to share with everybody is that it is a unique identity in and of itself. And here you are, sitting so close to Myrtle Beach. How important was it when you first started? Was that something that was uniquely for you when you started? Or was that your, the administration, the mayor, everybody saying this is a goal of ours to have our own identity?
I think we are fiercely competitive, number one. And I think we have a very strong hold on our own brand. We don't want to be like anybody else. We want to be like ourselves. And we want to stay authentic to what Conway always has been, which is, we've got a fantastic historic core on the river, and utilizing those things in a way that stays true to who we are is really important. If you go to a Coastal Carolina game, you will see, you will see Conway on everything. And that's very intentional. There's nothing more frustrating for someone from Conway to be watching a nationally televised game on ESPN and have them report live from Myrtle Beach. And they're not in Myrtle Beach, dang it. They're in Conway.
That's right.
And we are really proud of that. And we work really hard to keep that relationship strong. And it's very important to us that the students that are there know they're in Conway, that the faculty and staff know that they're in Conway, and the sports teams that are visiting know they're in Conway. Because you wouldn't go to App State and say you're near Asheville, you'd say you're in Boone. And so when you're in Conway at Coastal, you're in Conway at Coastal, not near Myrtle Beach.
One of the things that I love that, again, you're adding, you're stacking to this important, effort, and that is the gorgeous wall murals that you have in downtown, one of which is about Coastal Carolina University. Right. So how do those come about, and who is creating or who's making those?
A lot of credit goes to Conway Downtown Alive, which is our Main Street organization in Conway. They have been very instrumental in making sure that public art is at the forefront of things. Our council also dedicates money every year in the budget to public art. So that gives us a lot more influence and being able to make sure that that's a continuation of, it happens every year. It isn't just a flash in the pan where one year we put up a mural and then 10 years go by before we do something else. It's a constant thing. Every year we try to add to that. And so you're right. We do have, I think we're up to 10 or 11 murals now that are fantastic. There's one being painted right now in our Conway at the marina by our mayor's youth council designed a mural, and they're painting a mural in our riverfront park. So it's just another layer, like you said, of adding one more piece.
Because as people come for those events, and I want to get back to that for just a second, that is some of the beautiful, that they get to see, and that it really is, it's just beautiful and really adds such character. Now, of course, we've talked about, Christmas, we've talked about Halloween, but hold up, there's more. So when did this come about that literally pretty much almost every other holiday we go, well, we're going back to Conway.
Well, what you just said is why we do it. We didn't want to lose momentum, and someone was crazy and said, well, why don't we do Valentine's Day? And I think the first year we did Valentine's Day, we had plywood pieces that looked like conversation hearts. And we came up with sayings that, I think there's a little ditty about Jack and Diane. We said a little ditty about Jack and Conway. And we did those around town, and those were cute. And then the next year we're like, well, let's make them different. And then again, we have to continually raise the bar. So then one year someone said, well, can we build a gondola? And so we built a gondola and gave free gondola rides. Let me tell you what, it is really hard to get insurance for a city to give gondola rides because nobody does it. Right. And that if there's ever proof, that's you just can't get insurance for it. We did eventually, but we've done that the last 2 years is give gondola rides as part of our Valentine's Day. And of course, St. Patrick's Day follows there, and you can't let that one drop. Of course not. Well, and then Easter's next. And so we had the state's largest Easter egg hunt the last 2 years. And then we carry spring over a little bit. And if you're getting your prom photos taken, you've got to come to Conway because we're the only city in the county that has prom signs. Oh my goodness. As well as graduation signs. So we make sure that we are the spot that you come when you want to take a picture of yourself or your family and friends for every season. And that's really what it's about. That's the secret we've unlocked, is that it's not just about putting up decor that you want to see. It's about decor that you want to get your picture taken with. And if you can make that spot, that's what they just want to take a picture for Instagram. And if you can give them a spot, they will come and find it.
So, and also I'm noticing even beyond the holidays, like I'm trying to remember the one, and I'm probably saying it wrong, but it was like a Porchfest. There was music, and I loved this idea. It was
so much fun. It was in February, which is a risky month to do an outdoor event.
Sure.
And of course, as fate would have it, it was a really wet it was warm. It was in the 60s, but it was pouring down rain, and we did it anyway. And I think there were 80 bands that were selected to be in Porchfest, and a few of them did drop out because of the rain. And then what we had is that we had residents volunteer their porches to be the stage.
I love that
idea. And the bands volunteered their time. They did not get paid to be there. And so it was a free concert amongst our residents, or our downtown residents, on the porches. And it was phenomenal. It was so much fun. It's a great way to meet your neighbors. It's a great way to be proud of your neighborhood. And it's a great way to kind of embrace what we're doing in Conway, which is something fun and unique. We never use the word weird because our stuff is not weird. It's just fun. But we always do things that are outside the box in Conway, and Porchfest was a perfect fit.
Oh, it was awesome. Now, from the standpoint, we talked about, obviously as a real estate agent, we automatically are seeing, not only the benefits of people saying, hey, I've heard a lot about Conway now. How cool is that, right?
Very cool.
And then also from our standpoint of being able to see, when people are like, well, what's going on in Conway? Now, I mean, my goodness. So I was like, how much time do you have?
That's right. But I think when you asked me, when you gave me some sample questions, I was like, I hope you have 8 hours, because that's how long it's going to take to answer these. Yes. There is always something going on in Conway. In the month of October alone, we had over 200 events last year. And I would say we had over 200 free events last year. So really, we are a place that is a great place to take your family. If look, everybody who's got kids is on a budget. And so it's a great place to be able to bring your family, to be able to explore the streets of Conway in a safe environment and do so without spending a lot of money. But if you want to spend your money, we give you a place to do it, and that's our downtown. And that's really what it's about. Every event that we do is it's not about trying to just promote the city. It's also about trying to promote our small businesses and keep them in business.
And that is exactly my next question to transition into. So you were having all of this, people are coming in, and as you said, your commercial space there, you've got a wait list now.
That's right.
So talk about those businesses. What have they liked about this? What kind of shocked them about this? Talk about who's enjoying this growth.
Well, I think the most positive way, or the best way to see the success of it, is when you've got a restaurant owner that opens a second restaurant, or a restaurant that has two already and opens a third. And we've got several of those right now that are working on their third concept. We've got, small chains that have multiple stores in the region that are looking for their second spot because the first one's been so good. And we've got that a couple places too. And then you've got everybody who's trying to beat down the door to get in. That's the proof that what we're doing is working. The second thing is when your restaurants come to you and say, Adam, we can't handle this volume in this month. Can you bring in food trucks? We need somebody to come in and help. And we never expected that.
Right.
When the restaurants can't staff up enough, they can't keep up with it. When you run out of red sauce in your pizza place, that's a crazy problem that we never would have expected, but what a cool problem to have. And then of course you get people that always complain about parking, but we always have enough parking. You just can't park as close as you want.
Right.
And if you have a parking problem, that means you have a place people want to be.
Absolutely. Now, from the getting the word out, right? So we're saying, okay, we're going to have these events. We're having them now. We're seeing, but you can't just say event and anticipate people are coming. So what has been, who in particular effort is it to get the word out and to find your way in Southern Living or USA Today?
Well, we have a lot of great partners. So of course we've got the Conway Chamber of Commerce and we've got Conway Downtown Alive. And recently the Myrtle Beach Chamber of Commerce has really stepped up and tried to get us in Southern Living. We got on the online version.
Okay.
We're still working on the print version. It's coming. But really it's and all of us use social media for our press. And we could advertise with all the money in the world, but we never will get the response that we get from social media. And the way that we're marketing the things that we do in downtown, they market themselves. We did little vignettes of skeletons for Halloween, little small things that were super simple. One of them was Chapel Roan's Pink Pony Club.
I love it.
Before it was even October, someone put it on TikTok and it had 1.3 million views.
Oh my gosh.
We don't need to market some of these things. They're marketing themselves, which is fantastic. And that also brings in a younger demographic that we really would love to have, especially when this area is not necessarily the youngest of areas. When you bring in the college age kids from Charleston coming to see what you're doing, it's really exciting.
Well, and the cleverness and the creativity paired with people in decision-making levels going, why not?
Why not?
And that, I think, is the key balance there, right?
And I'll tell you what, it's really important to point out that our city council and mayor have been very, very receptive to what to do. Sometimes they'll say, I don't understand it, but go ahead and try. And that's great. They don't have to understand it. If they're giving us the latitude to give it a shot, that's really important too. And, so far everything, knock on wood, has been working. So it's a lot of fun to do what we do.
How long have you and the mayor been working together? Because to your point, she's very much a believer of the identity and making all those efforts.
I think she was seated as mayor in 2016.
Okay.
So I worked less than a year under the former mayor before she was seated as mayor.
Oh, very good. It's like you guys are the dynamic duo. Anytime I've seen you with presentations, et cetera, it's just such tremendous energy, and it's really just great to see it. So
she's fantastic, and it's wonderful to work with her and the rest of city council too.
So now we talk about, we have these ideas and the strategic plan that you might have known years ago of things that you wanted to have come to fruition now. So that takes, planning to execution. So what does it actually take to pull some of this off?
Well, holiday in itself, when we started, it was myself and my deputy administrators pretty much doing it all. We have a fantastic staff. So our hospitality and beautification department stepped up and put the pumpkins up that year. And the bulk of the work went to them. The ideas were kind of from us. And then another department would step up and they would do a piece of it. And then and it really became the entire staff of Conway has bought into what we do. They all get a chance to work on it. We're like I said, we're fiercely competitive. We compete with each other. So a lot of what we see downtown is a competition between our different departments. How can we build something or decorate something that will stand out? And you win breakfast if you win. And every year that I do one, it always something's wrong. I mismeasured one year and it was a mess. But it's a lot of fun to be able to do that. And really, we are a well-oiled machine at this point. And we've been able to switch from a lot of what we would do before. We would buy everything we get from Lowe's and Home Depot and all these other places and try to make those something unique. And what we're doing now is we're making things unique without buying those things. We've got to the point where we're able to build things that are better than what we can buy. And that's exciting. Yeah. That really is exciting.
So I think, it's interesting. You said that, you took the time to go to different cities to see what, they were doing. I have a feeling now, Adam, those cities are coming to check out Conway.
Why wouldn't they?
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
It's just, to your point, a well-oiled machine. It makes me think about, and not necessarily the best comparison, but when you hear about, say, your favorite TV show and they just go, we just knew how to work well and we, got along and it was personal. And so it really feels like when you have that moment in time where it gels, you just go for it.
Yeah, I don't know that what we're doing would work most places because it really is. It's, one person will come up with an idea and then it'll take 10 people to implement that. And there's a line to get those 10. Everybody wants to be part of everything. It's really fun. And we've talked so much about the holidays, but it's not just that. It's about, the growth of Conway has been extreme. And all of those efforts that are holiday related, they translate into all the other things too. We, again, across the board, we all work well together for everything. Yeah.
So it's a little bit of a cheesy question. Bear with me. I love my 80s music. So that it was the one, I think it was voted like one of the worst 80s songs ever or something. It's We Built This City on Rock and Roll. Yes. Okay. All right. So Adam, here you go. What did we build Conway on? You don't have to sing it. Okay?
No, I'm not going to. I'll save everyone the nightmare of that. I'd like to say it's a little bit of authentic history, which sounds bizarre given what we've talked about so far. But we being so close to Myrtle Beach, it would be easy for us to try to bring in beach stores and bring in miniature golf and try to capture those folks on the drive-in. But that's not Conway. Right. And what is Conway is you've got the 1732 historic core, one of the oldest cities in the state, something we're also very proud of. You've got the Blackwater River of the Waccamaw River running right through the center of our downtown. And those two things, that's what we try to spread throughout the downtown. And in fact, that's some of our planning efforts have been, how do we take what's downtown working and make that spread to other places in the city? Because that is who we are. That's the authenticity of Conway. And I think that's what is most important to us. So if there was one thing that we've built our city on, I would say it's authenticity at its core. Now, you can have fun with that. And one of our projects we have coming up, we're building a ferry crossing across the river for pedestrians and bicycles. It's really hard if you're a walker or a bicycler to cross over the Main Street Bridge. It was built in 1937. The sidewalk is 2 feet wide and it's elevated and it's really scary. So we can't afford a pedestrian bridge, but we can afford a ferry crossing. So we're going to build a very kitschy, very, Jungle Cruise-esque.
I love it.
Ferry crossing. We're going to pay a ferry boat captain to ferry people across the river back and forth, tell little stories.
Where do I submit my application?
It's coming up in January. We'll take it. And it'll be part of what we are because ferries were something that was authentic to Conway.
Right.
And it's using the river, the heritage of the river to add another aspect of things that people can do. But it's really also getting you from point A to point B. And then we're building a boardwalk through the swamp that'll kind of showcase some of the natural beauty. And we've got other things that are doing that too. But it's expanding our river walk in a different direction. And eventually we'll connect it to Carolina Forest via a bike trail. And then we'll get to Myrtle Beach. So we'll have a bike trail from Conway to Myrtle Beach eventually. But we're starting it in Conway with the Kingston Ferry.
And these are the things, again, like you talked about, you start with this concept and you're going to put together your plan and your strategy. And before you know it, people will be enjoying yet another element that started in Conway.
That's right.
And, I love that, with each of these, again, there's buy-in. There are, whether it be the homeowners and the visitors or the business owners, with each one of these, their buy-in helps you get to that next step.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, our business owners are fantastic. They really have supported what we do, which is fantastic because we love to support them as well. But we've developed a core of volunteers that have helped us with our holiday programming that we've never been able to do before. Last year we had over 100 volunteers help us with Halloween, and they came back for Christmas, and they came back for Easter, and having the extra hands has been really important to be able to do what we do. And because they're volunteering on building the things, they come out in the middle of the night, check on the props that are there, make sure they're still good, and having that
There's
little
ownership.
Free security is fantastic.
Yes.
And it really does make a difference. And I've heard you mention it in your preamble. It's a great way for our folks that have moved here to make friends. And we're hearing that from time and time again, that we didn't know how to make friends. We heard about the volunteerism, and now I've got a family of friends that we met putting up Halloween decorations.
Active community members.
Active community members.
That is winning the lottery right
It
there.
really is.
Now, to the point, and it's also winning the lottery. You keep getting awards like every week, okay, Adam? It's like every time we talk, it's like, oh, I got this one this week, It's like, so and they're definitely not participation trophies, people, okay? So the one that we just heard about is that Conway is a finalist for being an All-America City.
That's
Tell me
correct.
about that.
It's the National Civics League has this competition every year, and they name 20 finalists, and of which 10 are chosen. It is one of the most prestigious awards a city can win, and we are one of the top 20 finalists. At the end of June, we'll be going to Denver to, I guess, defend our position or win our position. I don't know. It's going to be, it's very nerve wracking. I don't know that we knew how much work it was going to be when we applied. We thought, well, it's a 20-page application. That's going to be the hardest point. No. That's the start. So
Really?
It's something we're working on right now. And we don't intend to lose. We never do.
I think this is great. I cannot wait to hear. And
All
you're gonna find out in Denver, you said?
In Denver, that's
Okay.
right. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about, all right, now there's some new plans. Now there's some future. And let me tell you, people, it is big time. So when we come back, you'll hear all about it.
It's almost here. The Myrtle Beach Art Museum has a most extraordinary exhibit beginning in just a few weeks. From the distinguished private collection by the Myrtle Beach Art Museum, A Lasting Impression offers a rare and momentous opportunity for both residents and visitors to experience the beauty and innovation of the Impressionist era. This remarkable exhibition, running through June 13th through September 27th, brings together paintings and drawings by some of the movement's most celebrated artists, including Mary Pichon, Edgar Degas, Georges Despeignard, Albert Schweitzer, and Pierre-Auguste Renoir. Visit the museum's website, myrtlebeachartmuseum.org, for all the latest information.
And we are back, Coasting Podcast, and we have Adam Emrick here. All right, it's time to talk future. And this alone might take 3 hours because I know you have got a lot planned. So what excites you most about what you're seeing for Conway's future?
So, we were really lucky in being able to accept a donation of land from Santee Cooper of 825 acres. And of that acreage, we're holding all of it in conservation, but about 15 to 20 acres.
Okay.
So all of Lake Busby is now it's city owned, and it will be held in conservation. And then there's property on the other side of 501 that is the former ash pond where they held the spent coal ash. And what we want to do with that property, number one, it is the most pretty property in Conway. I would argue that there's nothing prettier, maybe in the county. It is some virgin swampland, bottomland forest. You're maybe 100 feet from Highway 501, and you can't hear it, you can't see it.
Oh, wow.
It's just so beautifully preserved. And from the backside of this property, you can see downtown, but it feels like you're miles away and you're not. So from a proximity to our downtown, we're essentially building the equivalent of a small state park in our downtown. It's something that just doesn't exist anywhere. And it's just amazing. We're going to start, phase one's going to be a small beach, which may sound crazy to the folks at the beach, but people in Conway don't like to cross those bridges. So we'll have our own beach, and it'll keep folks from having to swim in the river where there's boat traffic and things like that. It'll be a safe place for us to swim. And then, of course, we're building a whole system of boardwalks that will be mirror our river walk. In all, we'll have 3.5 additional miles of Riverwalk through
Wow.
this, and a marina, and then there's a private development side of it as well. So it is going to be an amazing thing for us. I was just in there today, in fact, with a tour, and what it is, the cool thing about it is this property has never been public. It's been owned and operated by Santee Cooper for a generation or more, and it was developed as the steam plant, so it was always kept private for security. But it is just so pretty, and it's a shame to me that people can't see it unless they're with me in my golf cart.
Right.
So the day we can open it up is going to be a great day for everybody. It's just such a pretty sight. It's remarkable.
I can tell you're excited
It's
about
awesome.
it. I mean, it's one of those where you don't want to keep it a secret.
It will be a generational change for Conway.
Wow.
We're already a very vibrant city. We've got a lot going on, and adding this to the mix, I just don't know what it's going to do for us. But it's just an amazing thing.
So, okay, we talked about this previously, and so I want to bring up, and you're also thinking about, you've got a waterfront hotel planned as well,
Yes,
right?
yeah. We've got a boutique hotel coming to our downtown, 69 rooms, a ballroom, a restaurant, a bar, right in the heart of downtown. Something we're really missing. So when we have the Halloween stuff going on, the biggest question we always get is, where do we stay? And that's a very tough thing to answer until we have that hotel downtown.
Okay.
Fairfield Inn is great. Home to Suites Inn. They're both very new hotels, are fantastic, but they're at the periphery and they're more geared toward coastal Carolina. This one will be right in the heart of downtown and will be something that we're really missing right now.
So one of the things that we want to bring up, of course, is that in planning, you also have to talk about your infrastructure. And of course, with a river there and knowing that we are near the coast, we can be prone to storms that will bring a lot of water at a short amount of time. Yeah. And so as you're planning, you have to put that in play as well. So when you have, this gorgeous area that's going to be, the marina and the beach and then a waterfront hotel, and you've got your Riverwalk area, how do you incorporate this concern of rising water?
So I was here in 2015, 2016, and 2018.
Wow. Okay.
And when you've been through those floods, especially Florence in 2018, it never leaves the forefront of your mind. So everything that we do in Conway has an aspect of how do we prevent this from flooding, or if it floods, how do we keep it from damaging anything? So the downtown hotel, number one, it did not flood. The site did not flood during Hurricane Florence. So if it didn't flood during Florence, it's probably never going to flood. Again, knock on wood.
Right.
So that's sort of the benchmark, right? If we can just keep it elevated above where Florence was. The area that will be developed in Santee Cooper site also did not flood. It was one of the only pieces of upland remaining during the flood. Highway 501 was barricaded to prevent it from flooding. Right. This property was in that area. It did not flood.
Wow.
Everything else flooded in the area but that site. So we've got some confidence there that it'll be fine. But anything we build on the water, the boardwalks through the Santee Coopers, the Ash Pond site, any new river walks, anything like that, we build them so they can flood. We know we're going to be a city that floods. So any infrastructure we put along the river, we have to expect it to flood. So we make sure that we build it in a way that's possible. We use the right kind of wood, we use the right kind of construction materials, and we just expect it to flood and be closed for a short period of time here and there. And I think that's what we have to do as a city of Conway, is know that we're going to flood, be a city that can flood, and it can be a nuisance, but not a danger.
Right.
And that's the goal for what we do.
Right. And then the other part, of course, roads. And there's only so much that a city of Conway can do about that.
That's true. We can't build a bridge. The bridge is almost $1 billion, and that, we
pocket change for, yeah.
But the good thing is the transportation sales tax ride 4 was passed last year by referendum. So we've got a lot of new money coming into our road network. We know that there's going to be a road connection on the south end that'll cross the river. We know that there's going to be another crossing of the river as part of that project. So there'll be 2 new bridges around Conway, which is something that there hasn't been a bridge built over the Waccamaw River in lifetimes. And we are way behind on those. There is not a bridge between 501 bypass and Georgetown, 35 miles of river with no bridge. And that's why we're feeling the pinch now of traffic. Anywhere where there's a bottleneck, and right now you've got the 2 bridges in Conway that are a bottleneck every morning and every afternoon. That's why we've not done what we need to do for the last 50 years to keep up with the demand. And now we're feeling the pinch, but we've got a plan to get our way out of it. It'll take 20 or 25 years, but it's coming.
So Conway celebrates its tricentennial
We
in
do.
2032. So here we look and that's like a blink of an eye and it will be here. What do you hope people are saying about the city at that point?
Well, I hope that they're eagerly awaiting what we're going to come up with, and we've built the momentum for the expectations like that. But we have been planning that for the last, I don't know, maybe 5 years already. So we're really working on what that is going to be. I think the first time one of our council folks told me to start preparing for it, I thought they were crazy. And now we're only a few years away, and I'm grateful that they did that. But we've got some great things coming up for the Tricentennial. You know, we were founded in 1732, so we are one of the oldest cities in the state, and that is another thing that we're proud of in Conway. And so we're going to celebrate it like only Conway can.
It's marked. My calendar is marked.
All right, good. The whole year, mark it. 'Cause it's going to be a year-long celebration.
So as you, look back and you know what's coming for you personally, what makes you most proud when you look at the achievements of Conway?
Well, I think it's like you said, there's been a change in the narrative as it relates to Conway. I'm just glad I was here for that. It's exciting to be able to be in a city that people are proud of. Where I grew up, I couldn't wait to leave. And when my kids are in college now, 2 of my 3 kids are in college. The other one's here. I expect them to come back and live in Conway. I don't know that they're going to do that, but I know that it would not be something they would, really worry about. That there's things for them to do here, and they're proud to live here too. So I think as any government employee who does what I do, to give a place for the folks that are getting an education, to becoming a talented individual, to want to be here when they graduate and not leave and go somewhere else. I think that's really all you can hope for.
And today, if you were the roving reporter and were walking around and you asked whomever, what do you think about Conway, or how would you, what words do you want them to say? The
one thing that we won in the last couple of years that I was most proud of, we were second place, was we were the second kindest city in the United States.
Oh, wow.
And I think that's the one I think is most important. You can be charming, but you don't have to be nice. And I think if you're likely to get someone to say hello to you when you're walking down the street, that's a really big thing. And I think that was one of the big metrics. So that's the one. I would like to think that they would say that we're a nice city. We're a friendly city to everybody.
And I was going to say, if someone hasn't been to Conway in a while and they still have that, previous, words or the butt of the jokes type of, what do you say to them now?
Well, the cool thing about Conway now is there are people always on the street walking around from place to place. And you can go to many cities, big cities, small cities, and you see no one. That is never the case in Conway. You can be out at 8 o'clock at night on a Sunday in a storm, and there'll be people walking to see what's going on, which is weird. I don't know where they're going or what they're looking at, but there's always somebody out exploring. There's always somebody out using what's been built for them. And I think, we're really lucky to be able to say that the things that we've put in place are used the way they're supposed to be used. So often the time you build it and they will come, they don't come.
Right.
They're what we've built so far, they're coming to, and that's fun. We built a splash pad downtown last year, and we're like, we don't know if anybody's going to come. That thing is never off. It's great. It's great,
Yes.
but it's never off.
And I will certainly add to that. If you haven't been to Conway in a while, get here. Okay. Just plan it, get here. How about this weekend? Okay. Cause it has changed so much. And that word energy and comfort, it's just, and I think kind is a great word. It's just really, you feel very welcomed. And that has a lot to do with your efforts.
Well, and you see the golf carts everywhere. Those are the locals.
Yeah.
And that's because we've built a place that they want to be, and other people have found us, but that's okay. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here
Thank
and
you for
telling
having
us about everything that has happened and is to come. It's so exciting. And, I think it's just that these places like Conway that, you don't just become a destination by chance. There's intention behind it. There are people behind it and vision behind it. And to be willing to think differently and say why not is how a community becomes so special and spectacular. So when you see it come to life, this energy, the creativity, and the excitement about what's coming next, I mean, it just really makes you look at Conway in a whole different way. So I'm so thankful that you joined us to tell us about it
Thank you for
today.
inviting me. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you. So, hey, if there are other people, places, or stories along the Carolina coast you think we should be covering, will you please send us a note at coastingpodcastsc@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. And hey, if today's conversation's got you thinking, I don't want to just visit Conway. It sounds like a place that needs to be my whole address forever. Guess what? You get to call me. And my phone number is going to be at the end of the podcast here, so I can tell you all about the real estate that's going on in Conway right now. So, you know what? Thanks again for listening. And as always, keep it coasting.
Hibernate. That's for winter.
Where hair gets big and the HVAC company, well, they're your best friends.
Did you see that?
How dare you people do this to okay?
I'm sorry.
You're in for a treat.
The executive producers of the Coasting Podcast is Celia Klein. Producer is Michael Lehman of Framewave Visuals. The opinions expressed herein are solely those of Celia, Aunt B, and any special guest. Good news? Agree? Disagree? You have that liberty. Special thanks to both Top Gun movies being shown in the theaters last month, the makers of Coppertone, and the one who ensures Celia gets her 3 limes. That's 3 limes. Our continued and deepest appreciation for all members of the armed forces and their families. May God bless you. And coasting clap to all the college and high school graduates. We wish you well in your endeavors. Big thanks to podcast listener Maureen Hume. Thank you for your support. Celia is a licensed realtor in both South and North Carolina. For any assistance, either buying or selling real estate, please call 843-321-9646. The Coasting Podcast can be found wherever you're currently enjoying your other favorite podcasts. We appreciate you watching and listening, but we really like it when you subscribe. So please send all comments and questions to coastingpodcastsc@gmail.com. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called the children of God.